What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I hope by now you probably watched the recap that I did. I did a live recap about what went down on the debut episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Well, at the end of that episode, we watch as Denise Richards just says bravo, bravo, bravo in the middle of a heated discussion with her co-stars that she did not want to happen on camera. And then she says she can't do this anymore, and then she pretty much ups and leaves. And so a lot of people have been wondering what the heck her saying bravo meant, and there's been a lot of conspiracy theories kind of surrounding it. So I just wanted to dish about what co-star Kyle Richards, who is now like the only OG of the show to have been there since the very beginning, has to say about why Denise Richards would suddenly start screaming bravo, bravo, bravo in the middle of a scene. And let's also talk about her co-star Teddi Mellencamp shading her on Twitter. Starting off with Kyle Richards. Kyle Richards says that the reason why Denise was yelling bravo, bravo, bravo was because it was an old trick of the girls in the debut season. Whenever like in between scenes or something, they would be getting their makeup done, and then like the camera people or producers would start trying to get the cameras back up before they were ready to be seen by the general public. Kyle was like, oh my God, we used to hate when they did that. She was talking to the Bravo Daily Dish podcast, which is the official podcast about like all the Real Housewives and stuff. She's like, we used to hate when they did that. And just to sabotage them from being able to use that footage, we used to say, oh, bravo, 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 hi, Andy Cohen, just so that like they would not be actually able to use that. Not like to skirt actual issues from making it to the air. And so she's like, I guess someone told Denise that's something that we used to do, but it was something that we did literally like 10 years ago. And she also added, and I quote, Denise started saying that when she didn't want what we were talking about in season 10 to be used. She was like, I'm just going to start throwing that out there and they won't use the footage. And they did. It's quite unfortunate for Denise that is something that they chose to do and like air this season. I assume that she probably felt like, you know, okay, they're gonna be ganging up on me all season, but at the very least, this one conversation that I yelled bravo, bravo, bravo for won't make it to air. And that probably gave her like a little bit of a sense of like, okay, I can continue on with this. Like, it's not so bad. But like, boom, here it comes. The episode airs and all of that did actually kind of happen. Like, it hasn't officially aired, the episode, but the trailer does, meaning that we are going to get that conversation in the 10th season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And so, you know, a funny thing about the show and the girls is that they don't know what parts and of the show make it to the air until like the week before or a couple of days before we do. They only get the advanced episodes just before we do. So she's probably sitting on pins and needles right now trying to figure out what aspects of that conversation made it to the show and like how everything was portrayed surrounding it. So I definitely feel quite bad for her in that respect. Like, she is the punching bag of the season. I mentioned this in my live recap of the show, but something that I really dislike about the Beverly Hills girls is that they're always choosing a vulnerable person and beating her into the ground at the end of every season. They just like feast on their own and feast on misery and just want to like stomp people into the ground. And to me, that's not really that appealing television. Like, I find it just kind of like grotesque to watch. Like, I'm not a huge fan of it. They did it to Lisa Vanderpump when she was mourning the death of her brother, and now here they are doing that to Denise Richards, who is newly married. So like, what's their end goal here? Do they want to see her husband divorce her? That to me is kind of what it seems like they are gunning for here. And it just goes from, you know, really fun, lighthearted reality television to genuine like Mean Girls trying to destroy people's lives, and that's quite hard to watch. Speaking of Mean Girls, Teddi Mellencamp, who I liked when she initially came on the show, she came across as like a total sheep, totally clueless, like just sweet, innocent girl. And then she very quickly turned on like her only friend at the time, Lisa Vanderpump. And now here she is about to attack Denise Richards as well. Like, she really goes with the group and just digs into people. You know, she's the true definition, in my opinion, of a wolf in sheep's clothing. So after the trailer aired in the debut episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she took to Twitter to throw a little bit of shade at Denise Richards by tweeting, and I quote, bravo, 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 always keeps it rolling even when you try to control things. Hashtag Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Denise was not going to take that lying down. Quite a lot of you actually tagged tagged her in the tweet that Teddi sent. They're like, listen, Teddi, say it with your chest. Tag Denise. If you won't tag her, we all will. So Denise's fans let her know what was going down, and she decided to respond to Teddi Mellencamp. She responded with a tweet that said, and I quote, "You were that someone that told me," and Kyle Richards about it. How funny is that? That yet again, Teddi Mellencamp is being exposed as a snake. In Doggate, she was exposed for lying about Lisa Vanderpump in order to push the narrative and the agenda against Lisa Vanderpump in order to take her down. And now here she is, being the person to have told Denise Richards that if she used these magic words, bravo, 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 or probably Andy Cohen as well, a scene would not make it to air. And now in public, she's acting like, wow, why would you do that? Like, of course, they always keep things rolling. You can't try to control the narrative of the show. Like, pick a side, girl. Teddi is such a flip-flopper, and that is one thing I absolutely cannot stand in a person. As for how Denise Richards and her husband Aaron are doing in the midst of all this drama going on in the season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, just to back things up, we're gonna see Brandi Glanville come onto the show and claim that she and Denise were having an affair for a couple of months behind Denise's husband's back. That is the whole entire kind of premise of this season of the show. And so, like, a lot of people are concerned about whether or not Denise and her husband, who are newly married, they've been married like a year and a bit now, how they're faring through all this. Well, according to a source close to realityblurb.com, the two of them are doing quite well, but Denise is quite disappointed that the other ladies seem to believe Brandi, but there's nothing she can really do about what other people see or think. The source also continued on to say, and I quote, "She's a professional and she's ready to relive everything, even though she wishes it never happened. She's just glad to get her side out there." You know what? At the very least, I do have to say that I am very proud of Denise for doing her job and continuing on to film the show so that, they all don't get the last word on what was going on in her situation. As hard as it is, it's the best option for her to stay on the show and keep telling her side of the story so that Brandi cannot go ahead and make up like her own imaginary world and rendition of what it is that happened and then turn around and steal Denise's diamond. How do you feel about Teddi Mellencamp shading Denise Richards for using a technique that Teddi allegedly tipped her off to, or Kyle saying that this was something that they used to do like 10 years ago? Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.